Hello and welcome to Prepspot. In this video, we are going to know about the intricate issues surrounding Bangladesh's growing population and its potential security implications for India. In this discussion, I'll be addressing the key research findings and expert analysis that suggest that Bangladesh, currently hosting a population of around 176 million in 2025 and growing at a rate of roughly 1% per year, faces several challenges that not only impact its own internal stability but also reverberate across its borders, particularly impacting India's neighboring states such as Assam and West Bengal. This analysis draws on diverse sources, incorporating viewpoints from official research bodies, demographic studies, security agencies, and policy think tanks, all of which highlight a multifaceted problem that has both immediate and long-term geopolitical consequences. At the heart of this issue lies the phenomenon of illegal immigration from Bangladesh into India, an occurrence driven in significant part by economic pressures, high birth rates, and increasingly severe climate-related challenges such as rising sea levels and extreme weather events. These factors combine to exert immense demographic pressure on regions that already struggle with resource constraints, resulting in complex security issues ranging from smuggling and human trafficking to potential risks of radicalization and social unrest. In our session today, I want to emphasize that while the exact figures on illegal immigration remain highly contentious, with estimates in border states like Assam varying widely from relatively conservative figures to numbers reaching into the millions, the broader concern is the demographic transformation that these movements can induce. It is well documented that illegal immigration from Bangladesh has been a long-standing issue, with historical precedents such as the Assam agitation between 1979 and 1985 bringing to light deep-seated anxieties within local communities. These anxieties stem from changes in the cultural, economic, and political landscape of border regions that experience sudden and unanticipated shifts in population dynamics. In the contemporary context, as Bangladesh's population continues to expand under pressure from limited natural resources and environmental vulnerabilities, these demographic shifts could exacerbate social tensions and strain the already limited resources in regions like West Bengal, Tripura, Meghalaya, and Mizoram. The issue is further complicated by climate change, which not only has the potential to trigger more massive displacements of people within Bangladesh but also to intensify cross-border movements, thereby adding another layer of pressure on India's security apparatus and border management strategies. It is important to note that the India-Bangladesh border, spanning approximately 4,096 kilometers, is one of the world's most porous frontiers, making effective monitoring an ongoing challenge. The sheer length and varied terrain of the border, from riverine landscapes to rugged and remote areas, provide myriad opportunities for illegal crossings. The Border Security Force, or BSF, plays a central role in patrolling and safeguarding this extensive frontier, yet despite their continuous efforts through patrols, establishment of observation posts, and implementation of anti-tunneling operations, the challenges persist. The complex geography of this border means that advancements in technology, though beneficial, cannot completely overcome the natural vulnerabilities inherent in such a long and sprawling boundary. Additionally, there have been reports highlighting that criminal networks and unscrupulous agents have facilitated the movement of individuals by producing counterfeit documentation, such as fake Aadhaar cards, which further muddy the waters in terms of accurately tracking and managing illegal immigration. For instance, there are accounts of agents charging between 2,000 rupees to 10,000 rupees for these fraudulent documents, a practice that not only undermines the integrity of the immigration system but also creates significant hurdles for law enforcement and policymakers alike. The economic dimensions of this problem cannot be overlooked either. Both Bangladesh and India are grappling with economic challenges that have long-term implications for their populations. In Bangladesh, economic pressures are often intertwined with environmental vulnerabilities that aggravate poverty levels and drive large numbers of people towards coastal migration. When economic opportunities become scarce, migration becomes an inevitable recourse, and India, with its larger economy and comparatively more developed border regions, becomes an attractive destination for those seeking better livelihoods. However, this migration comes at a cost. The influx of large numbers of migrants has the potential to strain local infrastructures, disrupt labor markets, and lead to competition over scarce resources such as land, water, and employment opportunities. These strains can, in turn, trigger social unrest and political tensions, particularly in regions that have historically been sensitive to demographic changes. The situation in Assam provides a clear historical example of these dynamics, where past episodes of large-scale immigration led to significant public demonstrations and long-lasting political ramifications. Political instability within Bangladesh further complicates this scenario. Recent developments, including the transition to an interim government led by Muhammad Yunus following the ouster of long-standing leader Sheikh Hasina, have introduced elements of uncertainty in the bilateral relationship between India and Bangladesh. Controversial remarks by Bangladeshi officials, like the provocative statements made by Mahfouz Alam on 16 December 2024, accusing India of ghettoizing and colonizing populations in West Bengal, Tripura, and Assam, have only served to heighten tensions and create a climate of mutual suspicion. Such political rhetoric not only inflames public opinion on both sides of the border but also has tangible implications for security policy and border management. When political narratives on one side portray immigration as an existential threat, it invariably influences the policy direction and security protocols adopted by the neighboring country. In India, this has translated into an intensified focus on bolstering border security measures, ranging from more rigorous enforcement through increased BSF deployments to sophisticated intelligence operations designed to curb illegal crossings. Another critical factor in understanding the broader dynamics at play is the role of climate change. Bangladesh is globally recognized as one of the most vulnerable countries to climate change due to its low-lying topography and high population density. As rising sea levels and increasing frequency of cyclones put immense pressure on the country's infrastructure and agricultural base, entire communities face the prospect of displacement. Climate change, therefore, acts as a powerful push factor that forces large segments of the population to migrate in search of safer, more stable living conditions. This migration is not confined within national boundaries. It often spills over into India, where the existing socio-economic conditions in border states may be insufficient to absorb the sudden increase in population. The concept of climate refugees, a term that is increasingly being used in both academic and policy circles, aptly describes the plight of those forced to leave their homes due to natural disasters or long-term environmental degradation. In the context of India and Bangladesh, the increasing number of climate refugees adds another layer of complexity to border management, as India's efforts to secure its border must now contend with humanitarian concerns alongside strict security measures. The historical context of this issue is significant as well. Since the 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War, which witnessed the massive displacement of populations and reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the region, the movement of people between Bangladesh and India has been a constant factor. Over the decades, successive waves of migration have contributed to the demographic changes that are now at the forefront of security concerns. Events such as the Assam agitation from 1979 to 1985, which saw locals protesting against what they perceived as an overwhelming influx of illegal immigrants, underscore the deep-rooted nature of these tensions. The memory of past conflicts and communal strife continues to influence current public sentiment and policy responses, with many viewing the current situation as part of a broader, long-standing struggle for control over territorial and cultural identity. In addressing these challenges, both countries have sought various measures to manage migration and border security. India, for example, has pursued initiatives such as the National Register of Citizens (NRC) in Assam, an attempt to identify and regulate the presence of illegal immigrants in a manner that is both systematic and transparent. Although the NRC has been subject to criticism and controversy, it represents a crucial effort by the government to assert greater control over demographic shifts that could alter the cultural and political fabric of the region. At the same time, discussions on a bilateral arrangement between India and Bangladesh have also gained traction, with proposals emphasizing the need for readmission agreements that can help manage the flow of migrants in a controlled and mutually beneficial manner. These initiatives underscore the understanding that unilateral actions, while necessary, are insufficient in the long term, and that a cooperative framework is indispensable to address the underlying drivers of migration. Furthermore, the issue of illegal immigration is not solely one of numbers, it also involves deeper societal implications. The influx of immigrants can fundamentally alter the demographic composition of communities, leading to changes in language, cultural practices, and electoral dynamics in affected regions. Such demographic transformations may contribute to political tensions, as local communities react to perceived threats to their identity and autonomy. This has been evident in the rising political discourse in border states, where local politicians sometimes use the issue of illegal immigration as a rallying cry to consolidate support, often framing it as an attack on regional culture and heritage. These narratives, while resonant with certain segments of the population, tend to oversimplify the complex socio-economic and geopolitical realities at play, masking the need for comprehensive policy solutions that address the root causes of migration. Addressing the security dimensions of this issue, it is crucial to consider the impact of demographic pressure on resource allocation and local governance. The sudden and often uneven distribution of population can strain already limited resources, leading to competition over housing, employment, and public services. Such strains, when compounded by economic disparities and poor infrastructure, can result in social unrest and even violent conflicts, which in turn provide fertile ground for the recruitment of radical elements. Reports have highlighted that in some instances, the porous nature of the border has allowed not just economic migrants but also individuals with extremist leanings to infiltrate India, thereby posing a potential national security threat. This has prompted Indian authorities to adopt a range of security measures that include not only physical barriers and increased surveillance but also enhanced interagency cooperation and intelligence sharing with neighboring countries to preempt any coordinated cross-border criminal or extremist activity. In light of these multifaceted challenges, it is clear that the situation demands a nuanced and balanced approach. While the potential risks associated with Bangladesh's population growth and subsequent migration to India are significant, it is equally important to recognize that migration itself is a complex phenomenon that can yield both positive and negative outcomes. On the one hand, migration has historically contributed to economic growth by enriching the cultural tapestry and labor markets of destination regions. On the other hand, unchecked migration can exacerbate existing inequities and trigger social tensions. For India, the key challenge lies in managing this dynamic in a manner that secures its national interests without compromising on human rights or humanitarian principles. This means investing in robust and technologically advanced border security systems, while also engaging in constructive dialogue with Bangladesh to address shared concerns and develop coordinated responses to the challenges posed by climate change and economic instability. As we examine the current debates and discussions, it is important to acknowledge that many of the figures cited, such as the estimates of illegal immigrants in Assam ranging from 2 million to figures as high as 20 million, are often subject to intense political scrutiny and debate. What remains indisputable, however, is that the demographic changes in key border areas are real and have significant implications for regional stability. The Indian government's ongoing efforts to fine-tune its border management policies, including regular deportation drives and enhanced monitoring of migratory patterns, are aimed at addressing these challenges, although the effectiveness of such measures is still a matter of ongoing evaluation and policy review. In wrapping up this session, I want to stress that the situation along the India-Bangladesh border is emblematic of broader global trends where environmental, economic, and political factors converge to shape the movement of people. Bangladesh's rising population, largely a consequence of its unique socio-economic challenges and vulnerability to climate change, creates a context in which migration becomes both an adaptive strategy for the affected population and a potential source of conflict and instability for the neighboring regions. For policymakers, scholars, and practitioners in the fields of security and migration studies, the case of Bangladesh and India offers critical insights into how demographic dynamics can have far-reaching impacts beyond national borders. It compels us to consider not only the immediate security concerns, such as illegal immigration, smuggling, and radicalization, but also the underlying socio-economic drivers that fuel these phenomena. In this regard, the ongoing dialogue about border security, the use of advanced surveillance technologies, the pursuit of bilateral agreements, and the implementation of registration and identification systems like the NRC in Assam, all represent important elements of a broader strategy that seeks to balance national security with humanitarian concerns and economic imperatives. In conclusion, the challenges arising from Bangladesh's growing population and its potential impacts on Indian security are a testament to the complexities of modern geopolitics, where environmental changes, economic pressures, and political instability converge to create multifaceted risks and opportunities. By engaging in thoughtful debate and constructive policy formulation, both India and Bangladesh have the opportunity to forge collaborative solutions that address these challenges while preserving the dignity and well-being of the affected communities. As we move forward, it is crucial for all stakeholders, from government officials and security experts to community leaders and policy scholars, to continuously monitor, analyze, and adapt to the evolving dynamics along this vital border. Answer this question in comments. The correct answer will be given heart and pinned. Lastly, we just want to let you know that we are a newly emerging online platform for competitive exams. Creating educational explainer videos like these requires a lot of effort, money, and time. If you like these videos and want us to excel and create videos in all categories of competitive exams, then you can consider supporting us with a one-time donation through the Ko-fi platform and also by becoming a member through Patreon. This will help us create more such informative educational videos in the competitive exams space. So, one last time, subscribe and share this channel with all your friends who are preparing for competitive exams. And also, follow us on social media platforms. The links are given in the About section of the channel and also in the video description. So, see you in the next video.